What's up, people lovers? T90's Titans League, the finals upon us. Hera against the Viper in a best of 7, and our opening map will be Shoals. We will see Hera play Mongols against the Bohemians of the Viper. And the opening was double dock for Hera, only one dock and some galleys out of Viper, lost the water, and we can talk a lot about the civilization there. I didn't really understand the choice of Bohemians. The Italian was an option as well. Maybe some mind games happened. Viper lost water. Hera played a follow-up with some scouts after that as well. Got some harassment, got lots of map control as well. As we can see, water's already won at this point. Viper only now getting the barracks, and yeah, Hera in full control this whole game. And then Viper finally, after his 3TC boom, moved out, had a castle in front of his base, and is contesting the side. Imp timing is relatively similar. Castles laid on both sides. As we can see, more map control here at the bottom for Hera, and then it was the power show of the Mango, as we can see here. Bombard cannons out, some hand cannoneers, some pikemen, but gold really limited. Mango is coming in. We don't have a lead at this point, but so many saved after the snipes, and that happened over and over again. Viper never really getting to full control, was going for the trash army here, and yeah, just feeling a bit underwhelming, I have to say. Mango dancing quite a bit, and this is still a relatively even fight. Pikemen are able to close some distance. Mango finding some kills against them. Skirms behind this, and this is even, but the traps behind this are finding the castle kill, and then Viper is trying to go and contest this other side after losing the top here, fully secured by Hera. But Mango are doing what Mango do, finding the kill here, and I'm not really sure. We need to go back and probably ask Viper what happened there in the Civ draft. We had so many other options. Bohemians, yeah, they can be crazy playing on one end, but Mongols, just one of the best civilizations in this one, and close to a Civ win, I believe. Hera takes it pretty uncontested. Game 1. Game 2 on Cross, and the Vipers playing Lithuanians against Hera's Persians. Obviously dock opening in the back for both players, but then we had some sneaky shenanigans. Sneakville of Hera was found and stopped, so no pawn over here. Viper is safe, but he got his dock through and was able to kill a lot of fish. Lots of contest there, and behind this, both players actually heavily committed on feudal age play, going for the stable here, going for the blacksmith, scout, and even an archery range following up by the Viper behind this. Not really typical that we see it so much, but maybe the open gold of Hera forced all that reaction, and Hera committed a lot more to feudal age, as we can see here. Double stable, bloodlines +1/+1 takes the fight, and Viper, he only got fletching as the military upgrades here gets completely cleared up, but his castle age timing so much faster. As we can see, 22 minutes, while we only have 600 food in the bank here for Hera. Adds TCs, adds the monasteries, goes for some knights. Hera will find some clear ups, but simply the situation on the pawns is not looking too great. Hera gets an uncontested one at the top, but Viper's boom just really good, and Hera was forced into an all-in. Went for the forward siege workshop, double monastery, triple stable, full on aggression, and Viper realizes, okay, something fishy is going on. You are trying to break me, and went for 4 barracks defense, is soon adding more stables here in the back as well, and simply did not stop producing 20+ workers there, and Hera could not break the Viper, who just continued to go for more and more pikemen, monks, rams, and knights. Couldn't really find the kill, and Viper takes it back to a 1-1 here. Nice defense, nice aggression. The Viper against Hera on Arabia, the wet dream of every Age of Empires fan. We will see the Viper playing Mayans and Hera with Khmer. Opening was some militia shenanigans here for the Viper. Hera played scouts with delayed horse color for him here, and will clear up those militia. A bit of annoyance, a bit of shenanigans, but nothing major happened. Archery range relatively late for the Viper, who went on to a lot of spearmen and also added in some eagles himself. Hera is going for lots of aggression here. We can see lots of scouts here, goes for forging, skirms with that. Viper tries to dance a bit and goes for some eagles, goes for archers, spearmen mix, trying to hold this one off here. And tries to move back the moment he goes to Castle Age. Viper is catching him off guard though, snipes a lot of the skirms. Archers trying to focus down on those scouts. And Viper getting fully cleared up. And a solid Castle Age timing behind this one for Hera, resulting into quite some aggression as we can see at the front, but a nasty counterattack here. Hera seeing it quite nicely, but still lots of idle villagers forced here, and that means lots of farmers not really working, villagers in houses, really nasty, and that also ends all the aggression at the front. Viper pretty safe, sitting on 2 TC against 1 TC here. Lots of aggression there with the front castle. Crossbow Eagle is the mix against the Knight Skirmisher here from our Khmer player. 3 TCs, farms everywhere. You love to see it. Some clear up here at the top. And more mobility for Hera. Viper expanded here for the 3rd TC at the front. And then we're working a bit more towards Imperial Age, but Hera with a way better timing. Got a front castle up, another defensive castle here, and not too many major losses here. Both players trying to use their army to the best potential. Hera with a way earlier in timing. As you can see, Viper not even clicked when the first trap is out, so roughly 4-minute delta. And it was the mass cavalier play, but Viper simply going for mass halberdiers. Was able to answer that. Got really cornered here. If we take a look at the minimap, got maybe quarter of the map, but doesn't really matter that much to him because he apparently still gets a solid eco out there. Takes into eagles as well, and Hera really struggling to find a good army composition to that. Mass eagle and halberdiers here against light cav, soon hussar and skirmisher cavalier. Not really finding the best engagements. Took Hera quite some time to find proper answers to that. And the answer is hand cannoneers. Hand cannoneers against eagles and those halberdiers. Obviously doing a really good job. But then again, skirms will provide quite a bit. Hussars taking more engagements. Not even finding the kills against the traps here. And one goes down, second goes down, but lots and lots of hussars. And Hera's economy at 54 farmers. But it's not his typical 80 plus. And then engagements more in favor of the Mayan player. Elite skirmishers, double arrow action here as well. Hussars though with a beautiful army composition together with the skirms, pushing this one back. Long queue behind this here for the Viper, and he is dwindling down the Khmer player. More and more engagements. Couldn't really get onto any hand cannon mass here, and those skirmishers. Just the crazy units with all the halberdiers in front. Hera has to give this one up. Viper leads 2-1. After a beautiful Arabia game out of both of them. Game 4, Spanish Hera against Malian the Viper. Docks both being built at the bottom here. And Spanish have been performing pretty well, but typically Conquistadors shining a lot if the castle is close to the opponent and they can raid a lot. But as we can see with the TC placement here, pretty long distance. We had some shenanigans on water here, and well, simply way faster uptime for the Viper here when it comes to fuel age, and therefore a very easy early win. Sneaky center dock here by Hera, not really scouted for quite some time for the Viper, and Hera got some galleys around and got some fishing ship snipe, but as you can see, a solid 1.5 minutes, maybe close to 2 minutes earlier castle age timing there. Pretty nice for the Viper. Hera's a bit late there with the market apparently. Then Hera went for the Conquistadors, built the castle at home, far back, 3 TCs behind this. But as we can see, the map just really fortunate here for the defender and can easily wall everything off. Went for the defense with camels and monks. Hera couldn't really find anything here. Villager-wise, he is ahead, but it just feels like so much map control, plus a bit more fish for our Malian player. Giving us the spot where Viper is getting a lot of aggression, and now the eco upgrade or the military upgrades are coming in. Bloodlines and armor here, maybe trying to go into some knights, and camels are out, monks are out, and DM timing pretty close around the corner. Hera not really finding anything with his Conquistadors. Has solid numbers, tries to go in, but soon heavy camel even. Second armor is coming in. The castle is getting trapped. Miles away, years away from getting to Imperial Age. Hera trying to make something happen with his conquistadors, but sees block printing for Monks under the TC. No chance to dive those camels. The game is over and Viper takes a 3-1 lead here. Quite a gambly map, and with those TCs, tough for Spanish to win this one. Game 5 on Acropolis, and the two first picks against each other. The Viper going for Chinese, Hera going for Hindustani. Both players opening with the scouts here. We see lots of them running around, adding some spearmen as well. And typically Hera, the guy that heavily commits on to Fuel Age scouts with lots of upgrades, as we saw in the cross game and multiple games out of Hera over his career. This time, the switcheroo though. The Viper is going for Bloodlines, attack goes for Spearmen, and Hera tries to squeeze in a faster Castle Age and heavily gets punished for it. Spearmen are coming in, and those scouts are now diving. Lots of villagers are going to go down here. Hera eventually with the clear up behind this, but villagers are not looking pretty at all. 41 versus 33 here. Yeah, we have some Castle Age timing as well, but EcoKD absolutely brutal, and Hera set back quite a bit. He made a nice transition though, and is jumping into the 2TC, soon 3TC play with a Mongol defense, and did a really good job of catching up here. Crossbows and Spearmen are trying to find something against that, but Hera somehow stabilizes and gets into a really solid game with a reasonable amount of villagers. And then we see now some harassment here. Mangonel is getting micro down, but those camels of Hindustanis still pretty crazy, and the villager lead of Viper not completely out of control. Hera gives himself a good shot in this game, and as you can see, continues to push this one back. Camels are coming over for the Viper, but obviously completely outnumbered. Or not outnumbered, but outgunned by the camels of the Hindustanis. And well, this will continue for quite some time. And behind this, Gulam transition as an option for Hera as well. So he gets on to his dream army composition, Gulam plus Imperial Camel potentially. And Viper, obviously with the Chinese, should really struggle against this. Hindustani camels continuing to wreck this over and over again. And we see them taking really good fights. Viper somehow is better with the boom though. Both players went for massive economies, finding some more harassments here. Attack at the left hand side as well. And just continue to take those. But as we said, Gulam, elite Gulam around the corner, second armor upgrade as well, trying to debate, and that's why we see why Hindustanis are picked here. Strong in the early game and crazy strong in the late game as well. Once the distance is closed down, those archers have no chance against all the Gulam, completely wrecking them, and Hera putting himself into a really good position to win this game. Viper had to switch into Cavaliers behind this one, trying to find an answer, and is getting completely wrecked multiple times here, trying to buy himself some time. Halberdiers obviously not an option, Arbal not an option as we saw earlier, and those Gulams just continuing to do the job. Some traps getting sniped though, Camel's a bit out of position. And we're getting into the long game. Viper staying really active with Arbalest, Halberdier, Cavalier, Light Cav all around the block. And Hera couldn't really afford to go into more Gulam. Didn't really get all the gold that he wanted. Didn't really have the map, the extra golds as well. This one was constantly raided here, as we can see in the back. And then just had to accept. 3 Gulam out on the field, is still producing some more. Let's take one massive fight. But look at the Halberdier numbers here against the mass cavalry. Therefore really, really efficient. And Viper takes this engagement really well. Will lose it slightly after reinforcements are coming over. But the army won't really get cleared up after this one. And Viper takes T90's Titans League in a 4-1 against the Hera. Pretty crazy job. More raids are coming over. This army continues to do the damage. Castle to free himself, but won't really matter. GG, well played. Whew, what an interesting finals. That's it from me for the TTL coverage. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to help me out. Goodbye. Hippo lovers.